Greetings, YouTubians, and welcome back to Wayne Sharp World. And if you're like me and you just wrapped up your work week, welcome to the weekend. Hope your guys' Friday is going well. And mine's going pretty well because today I have a brand new Civivi model to take a look at with you. Not just a new version of a Civivi knife, a brand new model altogether. And it's a pretty different one for Civivi in terms of just like your regular Civivi design language. I think it's a little out there for Civivi. It's very interesting. I do like it. And what we're talking about is the Civivi Amirite. Now, before I go any further into this review, I'd like to thank you guys for tuning in today. If you like what you see, please do me a huge favor. Hit that subscribe button, follow along, and I will continue to bring you the content. Now, let's take a look at some overall specs on this knife right here. We have an overall length coming in at 8.41 inches, a blade length at 3.48 inches, and a blade thickness at 120 thousandths. Blade steel on this guy is Nitro V, as you can see right there. All that regular tiny Civivi font, or WE Knives in general font. We have a reverse Tonto style blade shape, but let me know, would you guys consider that a reverse Tonto or a Wharncliffe? Or is it like a modified Wharncliffe hovering towards a reverse Tonto? You be the judge. We have a full flat grind, a handle length coming in at 4.93 inches, and a handle thickness right at 510 thousandths. Got G10 for the handle scales, some really good button lock action for the locking mechanism, and a user of a left or right hand tip-up carry, and I love the way they did this. The clip is recessed on either end. You don't see that all the time. I feel like it's kind of like back and forth sometimes depending on the model, but always like seeing that. I think especially like on black G10, I feel like the milled out portion for the clip on the left-hand side doesn't really show that much. I think it still looks good. So love seeing that, especially so the lefties can get in on this one. A weight coming in at 4.59 ounces and a price at a very reasonable, very expected $76.50. That's $70 to $80 range. It's pretty much the going rate for a Civivi knife these days. And let's take a look at some size comparisons. This is, as you can see, a rather big knife. Definitely not small. And we'll compare it with quite possibly my favorite Civivi this year so far, the Sentinel Strike, which is just one hell of a knife. Loved this one. It was a very weird one for me. I wasn't sure about it when I got it, or when I saw pictures of it, and when I got it, kind of knocked my socks off. So really, really good one there. And then we'll throw in the Vosteed Thunderbird as well to give you guys an idea of the size. And there's it's even longer than the Thunderbird, and then as you can see, right up there with the Sentinel Strike. So a good size knife. Let's bring out another Civivi. This is another one. As a matter of fact, right here are potentially, quite possibly, my three favorite Civivis of the year. These are definitely two of my favorite Civivis of the year so far. And this Amirite, I gotta say, it's trending in a very favorable direction for me. I'm liking this more and more. Carried it today, carried it yesterday, and yeah, I've been impressed with it. The blade in general, and I actually just messaged him on Instagram today and told him this. If you know what Brian Kim, Transparent Knives, when I first saw this knife, I thought, you know what? This looks like Transparent Knives took a Civivi model and did a blade swap, like made his own blade to put on a Civivi knife. I see some of that. If you guys follow Transparent Knives on Instagram, first of all, if you don't, you should. He does great work, very creative in terms of his blade swaps, does fantastic jobs on all of his work, and he also stands behind his work like forever. So really good person to do business with if you're looking to get a really different knife. But when I saw this, I thought, yeah, that's what this looks like. It took me a second, but once it hit, I was like, this definitely looks like a Transparent Knives blade swap. And that's a good thing. That's a really good thing. If you guys know who I'm talking about, you would know that's definitely a compliment towards Brian over at Transparent Knives. But yeah, very, very impressive blade with that full flat grind, nice big finger choil. Big hands are going to love this knife. Not to get into the handle too quick, but big hands I think are definitely going to love this knife with that big choil there. Even the thicker fingers are still going to fit in there easily. I still have a lot of room with my index finger there. So this will be a knife that I think big hands will definitely like. Nice and slicey blade with a behind the edge reading at 17 thousandths. 17 thousandths with a full flat grind is always going to make for one excellent slicey combination, which is really what you have here. And that's really kind of it for the blade. You have a really nice plunge grind and sharpening choil, as you can see. So going to be very easy to keep that entire sharpened edge razor sharp with no smiles. And the thumb studs, placed really good, very easy to middle finger flick and thumb flick, and the thumb studs are completely out of the way of the cutting path, which is great. Civivi really, I mean, they usually do, but especially on this one, they really hit all the marks in terms of the little details, in terms of what a lot of people look for on a good knife these days. And going into the handle, it's really nothing too special. It's your typical G10. I have noticed, though, they've went with a slightly wider texture press on their G10 lately, and I like it. I do like it. It doesn't really improve the grip at all. It's more of kind of a look and feel in terms of it actually feels a little smoother to me. A little smoother, a little less grippy, but it's still not slippery by any stretch of the imagination. No grip concerns whatsoever. Feels great. No concerns there. So don't even start going down the path of is it too slippery, because it's not. Some really nice kind of chamfering on the sides here to keep the edges nice and smooth. And I really like the standard clip they're going with here. This standard clip, it's really not too far off the other Civivis. Let's see, do I have a Civivi with an arm's reach? I do. Actually, it's got an aftermarket clip on it, so I guess I don't. But it just doesn't have kind of like the extra little cutout in the clip. It's more of just a solid clip with just an access point for the screws right there, which I like it. It just, for me, it looks good on the knife. It's not too much. It's not too stringy, so to say, and it doesn't look quite as cheesy, I guess. I just think this is a more clean clip. Really big fan of that. And again, with Civivi, you don't have, it's a completely sterile blade with the exception of that little marking right there. So it's just a really, really nice blade. Great shape, and nothing taking away from that attractive blade shape. So really well done job there by Civivi. And a handle to go with a good blade. Good handle to go with a good blade. No real issues in any way with either one. And going into the action, yeah, I mean, the action's arguably the best part of this knife. I would say the blade shape is the best part of this knife, though. I really do like the blade on this. I love full flat grinds. I like edge readings in the teens and the teen thousandths. And I just like the angles of this one. It pairs well with the handle. It's just very different, in my opinion, very different from other Civivis that have come out recently. I think it kind of just looks a little more unique. Not one of the first designs I would expect coming out of Civivi. And the flipper is great. I wish everybody did jimping on their knives like Civivi did. Like, I get it that they're just a budget knife, and, you know, we're not talking hundreds of dollars here, but it's just perfection in terms of the jimping and the traction and the lack of slipping on the flipper. It's just the easiest, effortless flippers on any knives. There are some other companies do it as good as Civivi, but no one does it better, in my opinion. So love the jimping, love everything they got going on there. And of course, the thumb studs are excellent. As I said before, very, very easy to kick that blade out however you want to do it. So really, really good job there. And of course, the button lock, you have all the fun flipping ways there. But yeah, just a really, really good one. This is one that I wouldn't mind seeing some more variants of. Let me know, what do you guys think of this one? Do you like this blade shape? That's the one thing that I feel like some people are going to love the blade shape, and I think other people are just going to be like, it's ugly. So let me know. Do you like it or is it ugly? I personally am a pretty big fan of it, and I'm liking it more by the day. So yeah, this one is definitely going to stick around. And tell you what, depending on how I warm up to this, this could maybe make a top 10 video, or at least an honorable mention in terms of my favorite Civivis, because I just really like I definitely like bigger knives, like the big slicey aggressive blade shapes, which we have here, and a nice comfortable handle to boot. It is, in my opinion, a fantastic offering from Civivi. One of the better new model releases this year. And yeah, Happy to see it. So you guys let me know what you think of this one. Hope you all enjoyed this. Hope you have a phenomenal weekend. And until the next one, I'm out.